Okay.
Yay.
Yep.
Bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Welcome to Everyone Racers.
It's a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture.
It doesn't matter what kind of limit champ
Or lucky track dog league you run.
SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate.
as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself.
Join us each week for tech discussions,
Tips, tricks, as well as news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing.
And whether it's on the spot,
hella sweet.
Or we're lucky enough,
and Chrissy,
and Chrissy,
I give you just the tip.
we're sure you'll giggle a little.
and learn even less.
Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Tim.
And I'm mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. Welcome to a Packard episode of our podcast. It's episode 359. The 1954 Packard Straight 8 had 9 main bearings, was good for 212 horsepower and 330 foot-pounds of torque at 2200 RPM. The 8.70 to 1 compression engine is considered to be the ultimate straight 8 manifestation. But with an aging factory, not in-house body tooling, and defense contracts from the war gone, Packard could not compete with the other big makers and their V8 configurations. They were forced to merge with Studebaker in 1957, and by 1959, Packard was no more. News to that Haggerty in our show notes.
Wow.
Yeah, I closed.
That just never gets old.
If only I weren't talking over it at the end, that would have made it even better. But
Oh, that's funny.
oh well.
Oh, well. All right, what you working on? Tim.
We just spent 4 days driving across the great country and quick stop in Buffalo, then off to Omaha, Nebraska. Mental gave me a restaurant to stop at, but sadly we got there 4 minutes before they were about to close, so we'll have to catch them on the way back through next time. Quick stop in Salt Lake City and then into California, and pretty smooth drive right up until we got into California, and they were redoing all of the roads from
Always the way it goes. Always.
Yep. Fixing all of the chain control grooves from the 18-wheelers going across the Sierras. So that was kind of a bummer, but not so bad. And then it's a little bit of repair of the landscaping at the house here in California. It was a hot summer, and in spite of the fact that we have irrigation running 3 days a week, this place looks like it caught on fire. So all new grass and a lot of time at Home Depot nursery to get things dialed back in. So picked a bunch of weeds and put some grass seed down and all of the things, Osmo coat on all the plants. So I had the green thumb all day yesterday, and unpacking. So all of the things to unpack and live life as a Californian again. And now I'm just getting prepped for the butt, and we've got a fun theme that we're working on. So I'm going through getting some songs made and a couple of judges' bribes and a few other things that we'll have up our sleeve for that race. So that'll be here before we know it.
That's fantastic.
Good.
I mean,
It's
the
important
lawn
to get ready
part
for
is-
butt stuff.
Butt stuff
Preparation for
goes
butt stuff.
better when you're prepared.
Yep. Always. Good. Speaking of preparation, Mental, what are you working on?
So wash, rinse, repeat. I am working on race recovery. More on that in a minute. And I'm working on race prep. More on that in a minute.
Like a load of laundry in the middle. That's about it.
Pretty much.
Chris, you've been busy.
Cool. I have. I've done all kinds of stuff. I finally fixed the boat motor. You know, it's been running weird for like 2 years. Well, turns out I was right in that there was an unmetered air leak, but I was chasing it with other things. Eventually, I just took all the fuel injectors out and replaced all the O-rings on the injectors and the fuel pressure regulators with OEM, compared to the ones that came on it after I got the injector serviced, which they didn't need to be serviced. I just said, well, I should do that. They're like 18 years old or 16 years old. I should do that. Well, the O-rings I put on weren't quite fitting perfectly. Caused this unmetered air leak. Putting the correct ones on, it runs great.
Yay.
So fantastic. Problem solved. I also made a aluminum bracket for the transom to hold where the kicker motor is going on, because we got a 3.5 horsepower Mercury kicker as a backup engine because the other one wasn't running right. So just in time for the other one to run right, we've now got a spare
Really need
little
that.
kicker motor just in case. But anyway, I made this lovely bracket out of this fairly thick aluminum that we had. And then actually it was scrap from making the under tray for the 300ZX. That's where that came from. So then I took some rubber sheeting with adhesive liner on it, put that on the inside of the metal bracket. So when the bracket goes over the transom and a motor clamps down on the bracket and the rubber grips the transom, so I can actually put the kicker motor on without damaging the nice new paint that's on the boat. And that worked fine. Just got to get it really tight. And the motor ran very nicely. The little motor, when we broke it in, everything's great. So success all around on the boat.
Yay.
Fancy.
Then Porsche. I got the new back window glued in. It was definitely messy. Would have been better with 2 sets of hands, but it's in. It involved the use of a shoebox, among other things, but it is in. It appears to be holding, and it's only a little bit messier looking than I would like it to be. You have to get close enough to see
till I
it.
was around.
But
You
it's all
didn't
right.
tell me that.
Well, I needed to get it. I didn't know how bad it was going to be until I got it done. So for future reference, 2 sets of hands would be nice. But the window is in. It does not appear to leak. It is still there after a couple of days. So we're going to call
I
that
cut in it. I
a
kept turning
success.
around. I was like, "Are you sure it's still? Oh, I think it's still.
Yep,
I think
still
it's
there.
Still there.
It's really clean, so it's almost hard to tell. But it's
It
in
is.
there.
I feel like,
like
would you notice the wind noise or something?
Well, it's already convertible. You have some wind noise,
Yeah,
and it wasn't
Porsche
that much worse
top.
because the wind deflector is between the seats, so you got the headrest and the wind deflector and stuff. So there's kind of
It's not
a
like you
block
can just
there anyway.
It's not like you could just poke your hand back because there's
Yeah, it's not like a
stuff in.
Miata where there's just a gap. Let's see. Did a leather treatment on the Mercedes interior, which is a multi-step process, but damn, does it not give some fantastic results when it's done? Everything looks brand new, phenomenal, smells great.
And that was
Yeah.
the stuff that came with the Rolls Royce all those years ago, right? Or
Yeah, I'm
That's
only like
awesome.
halfway through the stuff that came for the Rolls Royce, despite
that's so
doing
fantastic.
like basically yearly treatments on most things.
on every car that needs it.
Yeah, I didn't
Yep.
do the Mercedes last year, and I didn't do the
And it's
NSX because
fun.
one year I did it, and it took some of the dye off the NSX seats. So I was like, I'm just going to wait on that one. Anyway, but stuff works great. Mercedes looks beautiful. And lastly, did an inspection of the Chrissy's youngest sister's Mazda 3 Cockroach. This is a car that thrives on abuse and just will not die no matter what. Damn thing still runs great. And okay, I mean, I checked it all over. 225,000 miles. The only thing I could find is the valve cover is seeping a little bit, and it could probably use a coolant hose because it's starting to bulge a little bit. That's it. The damn thing just keeps running. So it's going to get those 2 parts and an oil change, and it's good for another year.
Rock
Yep.
on.
That's amazing. That is
So-
amazing.
So everyone that emails or texts us, what car should I get to build a race car out of? Mazda 3. Clearly.
What
Pretty
what
much.
car should I get a kid who needs to learn on a car that if they scrape a curb or something like that? Mazda 3. So
Yeah, or
there's-
Prius. Prius would be another good one too.
I mean,
Good.
sure, but this one is it is basically free anyway, and
yeah.
it's
It's
not
already been
going to
totaled
hurt when-
once. It's held
Right.
together with drywall screws and ratchets and zip ties.
Zip ties. Yep.
And yeah, but the damn thing just will not die. It runs great. Go Mazda.
Yep, and it'll be good for somebody. I have a 20-year-old hardworking woman who works at the library, and she doesn't have a license. So we're going to work on getting her a license and probably give the car to her. So that's where it's going to end up next.
That's so cool.
It's so cool.
No, it is. Seriously,
Well, when you have free cars, sometimes it's hard to get rid of free cars, but sometimes you have somebody who needs a free car. And so that's
someone who
fine.
deserves a free car, someone that will value
Correct.
that free car. Absolutely.
Correct.
No,
Otherwise-
that's wonderful.
Otherwise, if we had a gambler around here, it would end up lifted with some ATV tires on the front. And
I mean, it's
a
tempting
winch
to just do that
welded
anyway.
to the bumper, right?
Just cause.
Do you guys have rallycross there? Does the SCCA do the rallycross?
They're like 3 hours away.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, not
there's-
around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Not
I
worth it.
bet some ice racing up in Maine.
Yes.
9 hours away. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, why don't we just have a cool car that makes it look like we're going to drive it somewhere cool and then not, and then, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, instead, we're just going to give it to somebody who needs it. That's what it comes down to.
Yep. Chrissy, what are you doing?
Not anything that you're doing, any car work at all. I have been doing library stuff, way too much work. It has been very stressful, a lot of work going on. And then I took some time in the middle of that to go help my mom do some babysitting. So hung out with my nephews. So, yep, all over the place, keeping busy, but not with car stuff. So there's that. Let's move on to news and notes time!
Well, poop. And what we are now calling the latest victim of the automotive blog apocalypse, the auto blog, is no more, at least as you know it. Yet another hedge fund, which apparently are entities that are created entirely to make the automotive segment of the internet suck, has purchased the longstanding news blog. Oddly enough, I found out this because I was with Phil Greedon this weekend, who used to write for them. They, in a farewell post to their fans, they mentioned their contributions during their 20 years of, their words, obsessively covering the automotive industry. They made nearly 159,000 posts, 43,000 photo galleries, and 848 podcasts. They've created 5,000 videos, and they were included on shows like The List, which appeared on television. They've been purchased by the Arena Group, which is the same organization of brain-dead medical experiments that managed to absolutely screw up the cash cow website Sports Illustrated earlier this year. They have publicized no plans for the site's new identity, and I want to know who keeps giving these idiots money. I don't see how they're making profit. That being said, while the casters here at Everyone Racers are not for sale, we can be rented.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Reasonable rates. Inquire with them.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, in other bad news, do you like to live life at the speed limit plus? Well, don't go thinking about moving to the UK anytime soon, because if you tamper with the speed limiters in newer cars, you will face quote-unquote extreme consequences, such as hefty fines and the ability to get your insurance of your vehicle revoked or highly increased. These limiters are known as Intelligent Speed Assist, or ISAs, and they are now mandatory in all new vehicles under EU regulations. The ISA technology uses GPS data to warn drivers when they're going over the speed limit on the road they're traveling on. You do have the option to disable the ISA system. Let's say you're going on a racetrack, but it reactivates every time you restart the vehicle. So add it to your startup checklist. Start the car, disengage parking brake, disable the stupid auto off engine feature, turn off the ISA, check your mirrors, connect your Bluetooth device. It's starting to resemble a pre-flight checklist. So thanks for that.
Aren't they making that mandatory in California soon too?
They are talking about that. Yes.
I love, because that's the problem. Like, oh, I wasn't aware I was speeding. Look, that's the line I give the state trooper. It's not reality. I mean,
Sometimes it is, depending on if it's a new car to you. You're in that fancy rental Camry, and sometimes you're like, oh, that's very much faster than I was planning. Sometimes that does happen.
yeah, fair.
At least me.
Yeah. Not if you're in a Nissan, though.
Actually, yeah, I think you're the only one that they
Correct.
don't believe that. Everyone else on this screen, oh, I'm sorry. This is shut up. We know you were doing it on purpose. I was on purpose. I'm sorry.
So most enthusiasts have heard of Cobb Tuning. They make the Access Port ECU and sell a lot of performance tubes for stuff. Well, they have just agreed to settle with the United States Department of Justice and the EPA for $2.9 million. Now, this is after they were accused of violating the Clean Air Act and whatnot. So this is all from James Gilboy at The Drive. So, we've heard of this, the issue with people, they're the latest really in a whole bunch of tuners that we've seen get targeted over their production and sale of defeat devices. Mostly it's been like diesel tuners and things, but this is one that I think many of us would know. But hey, they seem to be moving all right. They're still selling stuff. They're a pretty big company, so I think they'll be okay. But really, they've got a $2.9 million penalty, which apparently was reduced based on their limited ability to pay. And also they've been told they have to, quote, stop the manufacture and sale of defeat devices. So Cobb's got to go through all of the CARB approval stuff that they should have done in the first place, frankly. So they're going to go ahead and do that in theory. And they're also supposedly to stop dealing in products that violate the Clean Air Act, which they insist they've already done. They also have to notify their customers and retrain employees and affiliates. So anyway, the point is, these things are happening, but the government isn't coming after you for your race car tune or your manual boost controller or those kind of things. They're going after people that sell emissions tunes and diesel particulate filter deletes and things by the thousands. So, yeah.
On the upside, if you own one of those Cobb tuners, it just got very valuable.
That's true.
All right. Last week, Tim told us about a 1951 Crosley. He saw it at the fair, and most people had no idea what that was. Of course, we can find one on Racing Junk. There is a 1951 Crosley CD wagon. It's right down the street from us in Morgantown, PA. There are 50 pictures, a lengthy description, and lots of model history with discussion about the 44 cubic inch engine, 3-speed transmission, 12-inch wheels in this light mid-green with a wood grain paneling and lots of chrome. It's so cute.
It really is. I really love this car.
This one can use a little bit of attention. It's only at $8,500. There's plenty of your budget left, so you should take a look at it.
I'm looking at this engine, and I think the beach cart could probably take it in a race.
There's so much room for activities in that engine bay.
Very, very small activities, but activities.
Right. I was going to say, it's not very big to start with, so even you don't have a whole lot of room.
But I like that it's unrestored. It's a Survivor. Sorry, you were about to say something.
It is.
Upcoming races time! I was ready to do an intro. And that was so much.
It was so loud you blew Chris out.
He's gone. Goodbye.
Bam.
That's what happens when I yell in my house. I yell.
She breaks the interweb.
Chris hides.
I like when I can hear him in my headphones upstairs. I can hear my voice upstairs. Anyway, yes. Sorry.
Well, it was amazing, Chrissy. Keep it up. Lemons is at NCM. They've got 98 cars, 13 BMWs, 12 Miatas, 6 Hondas, 1 Porsche, and per Eric Rude, the biggest race at NCM ever. 98 cars. That's some real quality in here, too. Lemon's first Chrysler Fifth Avenue. Well done.
Nice.
3 swapped Rangers, a V8, a Duratec, and an Edsel Vic. Oh, that is definitely not going to run. The world's first V8 swapped Previa. The Vannenball returns with a new owner and a top 10 finishing Rover SD1. Also in this list are 3 generations of Chevy economy cars, the Cavalier, the Cobalt, and the Cruise, the Battle of the Seas. A Suzuki Kazashi, who needs to be some new real racer team's bogeyman, And the first time I can remember the Rust in the Wind guys racing outside of the Eastern region. The Falcon is awesome. There is to say nothing of Illumina X19, Datsun S12, a couple of Ford Escorts, and the mostly awesome basic Tercel ever in lemons. Judging will be, is it amazing?
It's literally, it's the one that you bought when you wanted a new car and you had no money. Cloth interior, automatic, no mods. And they painted it like a turtle and it just goes. It's so great.
Super skinny wheels, the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Well, judging for this race will be Brian Traynor, Janice Jerman, Kristen Hembry with Randy Clark in training. Good lineup.
Yeah. I am in one of those swapped Rangers with Skinny Coyote. So if you're going to NCM, come find me. I'll be over there with Jerry Ringel and the guys. We have a great theme. I am very excited about it. We came up with it at Road America. Now, while we are all doing that, Champ Car will be at Harris Hill for what is basically their Miata Fest. Got 40 cars. Mere 6 of those are BMWs. 17 of those are Miatas, which I think last year was like 22 of them were Miatas. One Honda, no Porsches.
Texans. Like
Yeah, I know.
Miatas so much. I thought they're too small for Texans. They're like, my hat's bigger than that car.
Yes. And if a Miata is not enough for you, there is an 81 Alfa Romeo Spider. Cue Simon and Garfunkel.
Bobbity boopity. Lucky Dog is also at CMP. This is a busy racing weekend. There's 57 cars at Lucky Dog. 17 are BMWs, unfortunately. 10 Miatas, 4 Hondas, 2 Porsche, and a Merkur XR4 Ti. They're also having a Monte Carlo night where the paddock garages are turned into garages at CMP. You mean the little like shed lean-to with no walls? Yeah. The paddock lean-to is turned into a casino Saturday night with roulette, craps, blackjack, and poker tables. There's a raffle with proceeds benefiting the current designated event charity, the Will Sheely Scholarship Foundation, helping teens with funding to pursue an automotive education and career. Well, have fun, everybody.
Amazing. Hopefully it's not windy.
Yeah, they're going to lose all their
Right?
crappy
I was thinking
fake
how,
bills
like,
or stuff.
it's not.
my
there's
playing
not-
cards. Woo!
Or if it's windy, yes. Because yeah, the lack of walls there, no problem. And it also never rains at CMP. And when it does, it's definitely never like heavy thunderstorms. So
No, and dust bowls and fire ants. And
Oh, no, it's fall. Chris is right. The hurricanes will come through and just be like, wrath
They
of
haven't
God
had-
storms.
any weird storms in South Carolina this year at all. There's been no flooding. There's been no 1,000-year storms. So they're good. Yeah.
Absolutely. When the pond floods, all the poisonous snakes now have, they can get out and explore, see a little bit more of the world.
Right.
yeah.
Go on, slither about.
Oh.
All right, recent results time. Okay, at the winners of Smells Like AMC Spirit 2024, overall went to In Lieu of Therapy in a VW Rabbit. I had to look up
What?
this up, right? I was like, I had to look it up. I know this is the worst, but
That's a
I
golf.
was like, are you sure?
It is, but it's a rabbit. When they
Okay.
made that version of the Golf and they reverted back to a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, that was too later. Anyway, whatever.
Yep. Well, it's a VW, and I just want to make sure that somebody didn't mistype there. Class
Yeah.
B went to Dirty Duck Racing in a VW Rabbit. Class C went to a Mopar Posers in a Dodge Intrepid. Heroic
Nice.
Fix went to Taco Cat Race Car Backwards as Race Car Taco Cat, which is amazing, in a Subaru Impreza. I Got Screwed went to BSOD Racing in a Fiat X19. Proof of Residence on Misery Corner went to Famous Potatoes in a Porsche 944 and Volkswagen Sriracha. That's what it
Spicy.
says.
Sriracha Sirocco.
Okay. Judge's Choice went to If It Bleeds, It Leads in a Saab 900S. Org choice went to Slay and Tickle in a Ford Mustang. Winner of IOE went to Radioactive in a Chevy Vega. And HMG goes to IWGF Racing in a Mazda Miata MX-6.
High Plains Raceway also racing this weekend. I'm sure Mental can tell us the real stories behind all these. Winner on laps was Orange Crushed in a 91 Miata. It's a Miata. Winner Class B, Petrosexual in their 04 Chrysler Crossfire. Well done.
Wow.
That thing was cooking too. We were all thinking it was going to pop.
I think it's one of those, it either works or it doesn't. And when it doesn't, it just completely doesn't.
Yeah,
it's all
but
Mercedes under there.
It was fast. And they were fairly clean.
Class C, Broken Spokes Racing. What do they have? Remember?
Dang it. And I deleted it. I should have known. I'm sorry.
We'll look that up later. Don't worry about it.
Yep. Don't have it.
Heroic Fix was a dad bod car mod in their 07 Yaris, which I think has a 2ZZ, no shit in it.
Yes, and I think they tried to supercharge it.
Oh, that'll work well. Good. 10-to-1 compression, supercharger. Go for it.
Yeah, no fail in that plan.
Was that, well, and you could see why they were Heroic Fix.
Right. There was obviously a story behind there.
Yeah. Tim, I don't know why I'm not getting a camera on you. I just have your audio.
Get my audio, but no camera.
Well, you can disconnect and come back while we keep going. I got screwed. Went to All Suck in their 77 Celica, appropriate team name. 2 engines, 3 engines. Oh, good. 2 engines, 1 club. Went to the Arc Flash Ford Focus.
They had 2 engines in a Ford Focus with linked shifter. It was.
Oh, that's excellent. Dual engine.
Really? Yeah.
Wonderful.
And
those never ever work, but they're so fun to think of.
Yes. At one point, Rafi, he was driving and the rear engine just died. So he had to disconnect the linkage, pull it off to the side, drive it in on the one engine, restart the second engine, reconnect it, and then go back out.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Saves on towing.
Options, like your kicker motor. It's options.
Right, totally. Org choice, the SpongeBobs and their 93 Geo Tracker. That's brave.
It was so bad. And they got it out there anyway, new rookie team. And when they pulled it in after the race, the engine sounded like someone dumped a bag of marbles into the intake. And they were just all so happy.
Good for them. Judge's choice, 3-hole golfers in an 02 Volkswagen Golf.
Excellent theme as well. They also a bunch of rookies. Hilarious.
Good. IOE Hangar 13 Racing in a Chevy Vega. Mental, do you know anything about that?
I do. That was us. I was racing with Tom and Jan Webb, and I'd like to point out this is the first time ever in the history of the world that 2 IOEs on the same weekend both went to Chevy Vegas.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Pretty much because they were Chevy Vegas.
Chevy Vegas, exactly. Yeah, right. And you guys all know Tom and Jan, and Jan's had that Vega for a while. They've done a dozen themes with it, and it was framed also as a bit of a lifetime achievement award because that Vega just keeps going, and it's not fast, it doesn't handle well, and it just hums, and everyone loves it. And we'll talk about it in a bit, but we had a design by Tom and Jan and everyone jumped in, but we had an outstanding theme as well. We were the Spaceballs themed lemon balls. So great time.
Great. HMG went to Savage Orchid Racing in their 81 280Z. So what did they do, Mental? So one of you guys, it's got to be good.
Right. Well, and Savage Orchid, dude, the only time I think they've lost an HMG was the 24-hour race when their car broke so much they couldn't do all of their performance art. And Salty Thunder Racing. Salty Thunder Racing was there with the Daft Junk theme, and we just leaned into it really, really hard. They showed up with a vengeance. They were all French Olympians, so they were wearing
French. Some of their pictures, they were so
tights.
funny.
They were wearing French tights with stuffed crotches and pole vaults, and they're running around throwing baguettes at everyone, and their car would curse at you in French, and they just, Savage Orchid, if they show up, they start theming on Thursday and they don't stop until Sunday night when everyone's already gone. And it was great. If you check out their Instagram, Savage Orchid Racing, everything had the French art film filter put on it with the music and everything. And they even helped us out with our theme. Hopefully some of that stuff will show up in the wrap up video, because it was really funny and they did a great job. But yes, all weekend long, all of them with the mustaches and I fought in your general direction.
Excellent.
If you don't follow them on the socials, you've got to do it. They do a really good job of posting stuff too. It's hysterical.
Yes, they are.
Hysterical.
It's a great team. And that damn Z's pretty quick too.
Okay.
Well, Lucky Dog was at the Ridge for the Oktoberfest Saturday. The winners of A and overall was Finally Racing, and they won overall by 2.7 seconds over the second place Funk Motorsports. B was 14K Racing by 1 lap, and C was Sleepy Race by less than a second. So some great racing on Saturday. Sunday, the overall went to Funk Motorsports, and they eked it out by Finally Racing by a half a second. So photo finish. B saw more money than sense, less than 1/100th of a second over McLary Honda with a third place, a second back.
Wow.
You were so close. And C was After Action, and they won by dominating by 3 laps. Some good racing.
Okay, it's listener feedback time!
Adam Narwookie from Road America messaged us to say, we saw a blue Jeep Gladiator that may or may not have been going marginally over 10 miles an hour downhill in the paddock at the end of the race. It came to an impressively fast stop to avoid T-boning a race car at the track out. Someone forgot to inform us at the driver's meeting that judges have right of way, I guess, in the paddock. Nice reflexes, Chris.
My defense, I was definitely not going over 10 miles an hour because I was waiting for people to make a hole in the wall to let me through. So I definitely wasn't. I looked right, no one coming, and then this car enters the pits at higher than pit speed when I had been looking to the left to avoid running over people's feet and also to high five the judges, fake judges that were standing there. And that's when they yelled at me, there's a car coming. Oh, okay. So I stopped. Yeah. Look twice, people.
Fake judges, but real safety. Nice work, league.
Sure.
Yep.
All right. On the Insta, from Tim's video of the kids pedal tractor pull, Bebop Bro said it was epic.
On the brake pad pics from Road America, Pironic Victory said, did I say that right? Pironic Victory Racing?
Pyric?
Sure.
Whatever, change your name.
All right. PV Racing said, I thought Miatas were momentum cars.
They are, but at the end of the straightaway, you have to do something with that momentum, and it usually goes into the front brakes.
And Dan 3 Drives liked our IOE winning theme at HPR.
On Facebook, the well-executed Spaceballs theme got some more comments. Like Darren said, yogurt. I hate yogurt. In keeping with the car theme, Tom was actually Yugo.
DJ914 said, so good, love this theme. But also asked, where's the pizza? Where is Pizza the Hut? Check out his appearance on Garage Airs.
Chris Hansel said Tom Webb for the win, and he really, really was. Spent weeks building that Volvo wagon, kept them both running, and was still helping out on the grid both days.
Corey Dickman, whoever that is, said, so awesome. Need to add the trooper combing the paddock over the weekend. Just drag a giant comb past the judges all weekend muttering, I ain't found shit.
Which
And
they
guess
did.
what?
There actually was a giant comb, and I had it on the Facebook, and Facebook's deciding to argue right now. So check out Hangar 13 or one of the web's Facebook pages. And they did. They walked around. They did it a couple times. They were combing for cheaters, and it was even funnier. It was Rachel was one of the assholes with the giant helmet and the BMW emblem, and she would do it in her Australian accent. We ain't found shit. Which is a terrible accent, but it was very funny.
Cool. On the Road America Hangover, Tyler said, "Hey, great to meet Chris and see Mental again. Thanks for the care package, and I'll email you my Blackston results when they come." And yeah, I'm really curious to see that when the oil pressure light was coming on a little too often. We need to see what's going to happen with Tyler's motor. I used the oil filter cutter one of my co-owners bought for our airplane, and the filter was mostly clean. Just a few bits of metal in it, but not a ton, nothing big. So hopefully the long-suffering single jingle will live to fight another day. Race Hero shows us this is the 120th fastest lap and 41st overall, and behind the class winner by about the amount of time we spent in pits. I'm confident this engine has a Class C win in it, especially at a slower track, as long as we can sort out the oil starvation issues that haven't already killed it. Yep.
Don't
Good
worry,
luck, Tyler.
I'm sure it's just the gauge. It's always the gauge.
It's always the gauge or the sender or the wiring. It's one of those things.
Definitely not
When
the
you
engine.
put a baffle in it, Tyler, make sure to put it right where the dipstick goes. That's a really smart move and works really well in the long term.
Now-
Check it before you put it all back together. Too.
Ignore that
really.
Ignore that piece of advice, but look right over Tim's head right now, and that is where we are going to link the actual how to build an oil pan baffle from Chris and Chrissy, which is a highly informative
that.
educational video.
I feel like that was a good time for.
Wait, hold on. No, you know what you actually, yes, about the thing. This is really what's perfect for it.
Now you know. Do 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 do. Also fun.
Also never gets old.
You're welcome.
Oh. You know who never puts the oil pan baffle blocking the dipstick?
That's probably correct.
Yep, that's true.
You know, always combs the paddock looking for cheaters.
No cookies for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty
no
much.
cookies for cheaters.
Shush,
And
like
who's-
cheaters.
And whose delightful baked creations are made with only the finest of liquid schmutz.
Sure.
Raspberry.
Only one, man.
Old enough to make me raspberry cookies.
There we
Hi,
go.
Chrissy's mom.
Hi, Mom. They're on a road trip at the moment, so they are listening to lots of podcasts. So I'm sure they'll be listening to this one soon.
Ooh, check it out. All right, cool.
Yep. Okay, it's me, topic time!
All right, it is the High Plains Raceway Hangover. Mental, let's talk a little bit about your experience. What about travel day?
Yes. So in keeping this, I ended up doing this race. As we've talked about, I was going to take the year off of racing. And when I did the 24-hour race with you, Tim, out there, Tom and Jan, or just Jan's oldest, Taz, ended up helping us refuel for 24 hours. Every refueling stop, Taz was there, and was awesome. And at the end of it, mentioned, we're going to do this race. We got to go pick up this car out in California, me and Tom. And if you need someone to come pour gas in that, I will drive here and pour gas in it because it's such an asset to the team. It was fantastic. T messaged me about 2 months ago, said, are you still willing to come up and pit crew? Absolutely. Tell me when to be there. Oh, it's this weekend, this time. Sure. Come on up. Also, I need a driver. So
Okay.
I ended up driving with them, and it was like running with Three Pedal Mafia. Just everything was taken care of. Well, no, okay, that's already done. Oh, no, okay, well, yeah, I guess that's already done. Both cars, we had one very minor issue, but all the cars are great. Traveling in, as I often do, I just left work and drove straight through the night up to High Plains Raceway just outside of Byers, Colorado. going that way because you lose an hour. It comes out to right about 11 hours, and got to the track about 5 a.m. Friday morning. Already had the
How'd the
spot reserved.
Work out after you haven't really driven it like that in a long time. So everything.
I
worked out all
I
right?
would have rather have taken the Mercedes, but now that
Sure.
night when I went to sleep, I was much happier that I had the RV instead of the Mercedes, but, and it worked out. It gave us some place to, the fridge was there and, folks to get changed into costumes. It was actually, the weather was really nice. So yeah. Yeah. And the worst part about that drive is always bringing it back, but I'm jumping ahead. Oh, look at the kitty.
Checo says hello.
Checo says hello.
Yep.
Is Checo okay after his big wreck?
Yeah.
A little sad, little
Yeah.
destructive. Actually, we had some destruction happen in the house because of the cat. So I feel like, yes. Anyway, sorry to derail. Yes. All right, travel in.
Travel in. So yeah,
so
got there uneventful,
Friday.
good weather. Yeah, actually. In fact,
How'd Friday go then? Did you guys test? What happened?
no, I did not. The cars were available to test, and T is a new driver, new racer, so familiar with the track. They still had the passenger seat on it, and went out there. And then a few folks. There's been some recent durability mods to the Vega, so those were available. I didn't feel much of a need to go out, and wandered around and just helped folks out. And Salty Thunder was there with the T1000 and a Fiero. The infamous Johan Nine Finger Drifters wagon was there, and just a host of other folks that I only get to see at these races. So it was a great time Friday, and you had Brian Trainer and Bob from down in Texas as the judges, because they were splitting half the staff with the crew that was at Pacific. So great time Friday. Just nice, low key, literally blue skies, 50 degrees once the sun went down. I don't think it broke 80 during that whole day. Just perfect racing weather.
That's
Wonderful.
amazing and doesn't usually happen. So
No.
fantastic.
Yeah. And I only had to deal with like 3 or 4 moths as opposed to the 1,000 of them that were there.
Must be the time of year.
How did inspection in BS go?
Knowing that it was coming in, you're going up against Salty Thunder, who never brings a weak theme. And Salty Thunder had combined with the Nine Finger Drifters, and they were doing a Johan tribute theme. And you had Phil and those guys, and they were all dressed in different outfits that we have come to love and expect out of Johan over the years. And it was sad, but like a good sad, because it was everyone celebrating. It was it's almost exactly a year ago that we lost the Yo Man, and seeing them do that.
Wow.
Yeah. And we, you had Savage Orchid, and there was another team there in a Dodge Neon that was also doing a French theme, but you're stepping into the ring with Muhammad Ali when you're dealing with Savage Orchid. So they were hardcore, had everyone there and the family and the French stuff. It was great. And they were theming, there were the golf that also won one of the choices. So they had a golf, they did the entire thing up like a golf course, and they were walking around with golf clubs all weekend, just swatting at balls, setting up. And then they had people dressed in appropriate outfit with the signs that they always hold up that says "Quiet, please," except their signs said STFU, and they would just randomly go through the paddock.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there was some great stuff. It's so that was going through there, and it was just actually great work. And the French were down there helping Bob and Brian, just hassle racers starting on Friday. And it was even funnier during the penalty. But not having the 24-hour race, I think really kind of it's a little bit more relaxed than the 24-hour race, where you're just always waiting for the next thing. So it was a very conventional feeling inspection and BS on Friday. And then everyone just hanging out and being low-key chill. If you've never been to High Plains Raceway, you start in the middle of nowhere and then you drive 25 minutes west.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's nothing out there at all.
Not a whole lot.
Uh,
I mean, there's a lot of racetracks in the middle of nowhere, but that one was that one's
Yes.
pretty epic.
And Glenn and the whole staff, of course, they absolutely love having lemons. And we were just a week after WRL was there, so it kind of highlights, neediness versus people that actually
Fun.
respect track workers and that kind of thing. So the track workers were all real happy to have us there as well.
How was Friday night
Nice.
compared to the 24-hour win? There is no Friday night.
It was a perfect Friday night. We themed up. We wandered around the pits. We talked to people. We got caught up. Johan's wife and his mom were there, and so
that's fun.
it was, so it was just a nice low key. If you didn't bring any alcohol, there was plenty there. A lot of folks just sitting around. Tom Webb adheres to the Chris Abbott, Chrissy Matura, Corey Dickman, Jimmy No Wrenchy theory of when I show up at the track, I unpack the car and I unpack a chair and sit down because I did all the prep beforehand. And that is just the way to go, just to have it all done.
It is the nice way. It's the nice way to go.
So, nice. And then, I stayed up all night driving, so I went to bed early.
Good idea. You needed it, I'm sure.
Adulting. Look at you adulting.
What?
Right, and Saturday morning, you got up, you did the drivers' meeting, and we also had Aaron Cole rocked up to help out a little bit, and so he was there. He gave the drivers' meeting in a very gracious Aaron Cole fashion and got everybody on board and did the rookie meeting and strapped in, and it was off to the races, literally. Did the driver schedule, and I was scheduled to go fourth. We were just going to keep rotating through the 4 drivers. And the vehicles go out there without incident until about halfway through the second stint. One of like the 4 things that Tom did not touch on the Volvo 240 Wagon, which was the car that I was driving, done up like a Winnebago to match the Spaceballs theme, was the large bracket that holds the fuel filter and high pressure pump under the car, but also gives it air so it passes over. The bracket figured this out afterwards, had suffered some previous damage and finally broke loose, drug on the ground, which ground it through the filter, and we were leaking fuel. And this was about 2 hours into the race. Immediately, everyone gets on their phones and starts trying all the different flaps until we find one that had the part. And T and them go while we get the car jacked up and prepped. And Phil wanders over, and while we're all kind of just sitting around eating lunch, and said, the sense of urgency of this broken car is palpable. And we're waiting on a part. What can you do? They had to drive to about 25 minutes away to get the part, and they only had the one. We were going to buy the 2. We came back. Tom had it all bolted together, re-inspected, which is a new Lemons regulation, not just for fuel, but if your car is pulled off the track, you have to be re-inspected, and it has to be inspected by one of the tech inspectors, not one of the judges. So they got Chris. He was doing safety up and down the hot pits. And actually, I think Tom went out there and did the hot pit job, put on his white shirt or red orange shirt. And he came over and signed us off, and off we went. And what a great car. All of the tire, all of the suspension, no power, none at all. So and it was a 4-speed. And I remember going out in the stint and remembering down the straightaway where why can't I find 5th? Why can't? Oh, that's right, because 5th is not in this car. So I'll just keep it right there at 5,000 RPMs until we get to the turn into 4. And everyone would pass you on the straightaway because you only had 4 gears and no horsepower. And then into turn 4, you brushed on the brakes to set the nose and made the turns, and you didn't lift again until you were down at the bottom of the hill. So much fun with that car. We really, really had a good time. And I got to take the checker on that one on Saturday.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And Saturday night, I would argue that the HPR Saturday night potluck rivals Thompson. And because
Rivals any
where
of them, really.
Oh, I
They
think
do a
it's,
great job.
yeah, it might be better than most.
yeah, because where are you going to go? And so everyone comes prepared.
Mm,
And
yeah.
so
There's the
all,
one Mexican restaurant. That's it.
which is a
Within
great
half an
Mexican
hour.
restaurant, but yeah,
It
you
is.
know,
But they get busy on race weekends.
get very, very
busy. Right.
but you just go down the whole row of the overhangs and everyone's got their food. They were making pizzas and of course there's all the Malort, all variations of Malort everywhere. They had the dance contest. They had a dance floor, and they had put together a rather touching tribute to the Yo Man. And I could watch some of it and then just had to kind of step away and regather my stuff. But it was truly a great little celebration of life and everything that was on there. And of course, everyone's in costume and theming and going around, and there's food and fun and merriment to be had, and everyone's just in a really good mood and enjoying the circus that is Lemons out there.
Well,
So
they had
just
that one person just chopping onions next to the photo gallery the entire time, and that was
yeah,
kinda strange.
really wish they hadn't have done that. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that one.
Yep.
So Sunday morning, you started an hour earlier, and they chop a couple hours off the end of it because you don't need to have a driver's meeting because it's Colorado and everyone kind of behaves
Hopefully.
themselves. Yeah. On
That's what he said
Saturday,
about the Midwest too. About how
Yeah.
that go.
Yeah, right.
that is on Saturday. They did have a red flag. It was a 350Z that was there. It was well built, and they had done a lot of work on it. And car broke down as they put it on the rollback, and they're pulling it into the pits. And one of the team owners, 6-year-old, said, "Daddy, the car is on fire." And no, son. See, the car's already in the wreck. Oh my God! It really is. It really. So the clutch had exploded and dumped everything on, and so they got it off the wrecker.
The hot stuff underneath it. That's exciting.
Yeah, they fixed it and got it back out on track Sunday. So they had it all taken care of, and Sunday morning out we go, and it was a shame there weren't a lot of 3 penalty teams. And I think Brian and Bob were a little disappointed because they were ready to be, Brian and Bob. But had a great time with that. And then Sunday morning, so off we go. And I actually also got a stint to drive the 9-finger drifters wagons with that I-Beams engine. And after driving the Volvo, where it's 5,000 and you've only got 4 gears, I'm in the other station wagon where you're shifting it at 6,000 to save the engine because it'll keep winding up. And there's 6 gears and half the tire. So it was a nice little contrast back and forth. A lot of fun driving both those cars. And they were they got 21 drivers through the Corolla wagon.
Wow.
What a great little car.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
That's amazing.
Yeah. And we all signed the hood.
Did
so,
5 minutes and then you get out?
30 minutes. Hey, just take it out. 30 minutes, bring it back to the pits. And they still finished mid-pack. And Anton, because he's Anton, was literally 10 seconds faster than everybody. And he's like,
I'm sure he was saying
I was trying
right.
to be nice to
I
you."
was going to exactly say that. He wasn't trying. Of course he's not trying. He's trying to go slow. And he's
Exactly.
not fast.
I
Yeah.
don't want to go. Yeah, I don't want to hurt the car. So
Correct.
And then talk to you about things you need to change on it to make it better.
actually, he was with me. It's a flickable car. You just you kind of just want to throw it into the corner and leave the engine wound out there. Yeah, it's a lot of fun car. Yeah.
Excellent.
Super cool.
Salty Thunder, they did the photo finish. They had the wagon, the Fiero, and the T1000, and also on Sunday because it was Jan and Jan's oldest in the Volvo and the Vega. They also went out there and got the last. I drove the stint right up until that till we put Taz in the car, and Taz and Jan also got their photo finish.
Oh, yay.
And this is how you know Taz is now a racer because. Drove behind Jan going, "Oh, speed up. Come on, gosh. We're in a race. Hurry up." It was a great time. And we walked, we got the IOE and all of the teams, the judges, the Heroa, or the judges, the org, the IOE, and of course the Halloween Meets Gasoline, these were some hard theming teams. And those are the ones that just got recognized. There were other teams out there absolutely throwing down with some great themes. They're having a good time with it.
That's excellent. It's a great racing community out there. That's for sure. A lot of great people doing good stuff.
Yep. Yep.
And, and it middle of nowhere, and they have to truck in their own water, but it's a fun track. Lots of elevation changes and interesting, and it's easy, but it's nuanced. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
The staff's awesome there too.
They really are.
Yeah.
It's nice to not have terrible weather there too, because there's a lot of ditches and a lot of bogs that formed, and we saw water
literally swimming in the parking lot. Which actually happened last time.
Actually swimming, right. And
physically,
and not like rivers.
Mm-hmm.
Rivers of oil coming from the penalty box. Yes. So there was that was miserable. It rained the whole time.
I do remember that one. And as I was leaving the track, we saw a storm coming in. I think in the RV, I was in the rain for about 15 minutes, which was thankfully enough to clean the dust off my windshield and uneventful the entire way home.
That's fantastic.
And got home Monday about 3 a.m. local, grabbed a power nap and a shower, and off to work.
Amazing. Okay. Cool. Just
super productive, I'm sure.
I'm sure you were like, wow, he is lightning today. Mental is on point. Nope. What can you get away with?
It's our slow season. I don't think half my office was in.
I was just picturing you.
This makes up for red flag drills.
Pretty much.
I was just picturing you like, it's computer day. I really have work to do. Close the door. Just sit. Not too
Shh. Yeah. Quiet. I'm trying to sleep.
Need to concentrate.
Doing these very important reports with my eyes closed.
Yes. I still undergoing some of the health stuff on this one, but that Monday was the day that I probably miss Red Bull the most. I really miss Red Bull.
Oh, well. All right. So from one race to another, you're going NCM.
Yes.
So let's talk about NCM. I mean, Tim, have you ever raced at NCM?
I have not.
No. Okay. The rest of us all have. And the first time Chrissy and I went to drive it there, it was on one lap. And every night before we go out on the track, or whatever track it was, we'd pull up a YouTube video and watch some laps just to get a basic understanding of where things were for the tracks we didn't know. And at NCM, I couldn't figure out where it was. And if you look at the track map, it's like, well, imagine you have some spaghetti and you just drop it on the ground. That's basically what it looks like if you do the whole track.
And when you watch video of it, the first couple corners, you were like, wait, you turn right and then left and then right,
where
and then there's a sweeper, and then you're just like, and then you're wrapping around itself, and you're just like, I am not really sure which way is up, like which way we had to like go backwards like a couple of times. We're like, okay, no, I think this is where. Nope, definitely not that in that corner. Yeah. It's challenging when you'll get it once you get on track, but it was definitely.
I'm running it next year with the Loose Nuts guys, so
that's gonna be awesome. Yeah,
those guys are great. Those guys,
they are. Talk about hardcore themers, man. Yes, I think they're like batting 900 for HMGs.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay,
Excellent.
Let's talk about what's happening at the track. So I'm not sure when you're listening to this, but maybe you're listening while you're driving. On Thursday, the gate opens at 5, closes at 10 p.m., entry with armbands. On Friday, 7 a.m., the door opens. There is an optional testing day. It is run by the track. You need to register on motorsports.reg. Link in the notes. Driver meeting at 7:45. Track is hot at 8:30 until 5:30 with a lunch shutdown from noon to 1. That seems reasonable. Sometimes they have different, although if it's run by the track, that probably means that there is more there is more other cars than just having lemons. So may or may not add some challenge to your test day, but yeah, sounds pretty good. The test day for lemons is $450 per team for 4 drivers. It is $500 on the day of, so do it like right now. That would be awesome if you want to go, or you should have done it already. Double check with your teammate. If you have a teammate that you said, "Hey, did you sign up for testing day?" and they're like, "Yeah, I did." And then you show up and you say, "Hi, my name is Chrissy, and I'm like to drive with car 41," and they're like, "We don't have a 41. Give us $500." So you should just double check with your teammate to make sure that that's actually happened. Ask me how I know. There is a noise limit and a microphone on the track. A noise limit and a microphone? What? Okay.
Yeah, it's right. I believe.
Oh,
you're
a
going
microphone
into-
for the. I understand.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's-
I have. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big
I was
turn
thinking, I'm like,
two.
I'm holding a microphone. Why is the microphone on the track? Anyway,
It's
sorry.
Chrissy. She's the noise limit. Nope. Don't like
I-
you. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Nope. Too loud. You're fine.
I thought you meant I'm the noise limit. Like, I feel like that's more appropriate than I'm like,
Well, that is also true. Yeah.
oh, there's so many
nope.
things happening here.
Rotary, that's louder than Chrissy. Okay, out.
Not by much. All right, it's 103 decibels at 50 feet is the noise limit with a microphone that is checking your noise limit. That is why there's a microphone. Thank you. Okay, noon to 5 is BS and tech. I'm sure they have a list. You should go figure out what the list is and where you are on the list. And if it's not out, double check because they usually put it out ahead of time. But know your time.
It is.
And go there.
It is. It's on the forums. We'll have a link for all that stuff as well.
Fantastic. There is with Gear Tech, it's the same. Make sure that you're wearing it, everything but your shoes. Go every time because there's new stickers. So yeah, hopefully you are familiar with what happens at Gear Tech. If not, ask questions before you get over there, please, because people that are checking gear hate to say this over and over and over again. There is a track walk at 5:45. No motorized vehicles. That's been normal. 6 to 8 is quiet out. 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. is a quiet hours. No loud music or engines. And the gate closes at 9 p.m. on Friday. A lot going on as usual.
Can you define loud music?
Right? It's at
No, you can't,
decibels.
Tim. That's for
right?
sure.
It's 103 decibels at 50 feet is what it is. You
Okay,
should not
perfect.
have loud, right? Loud. There you go. I've defined it for you. Yes. And if somebody says turn it down, then it's probably too loud. How about that? There's
And
my
again, the
scientific-
staff there, it's not like they're complete, tool bags or anything. It is when they built the track, one of the concessions was there is a house back over there. They didn't want the noise and they said, we'll keep it below this limit. So it's just about trying to be as you are being a guest of the track, you're trying to be a good neighbor.
Yep. Don't get
Saturday.
it closed.
Yeah, right. Saturday, 7 a.m. the gate opens. 9 a.m. drivers meeting. 9:30 grid. 10 to 5:30 is the race. 6 p.m. is quiet hours, and 7 p.m. the gate closes. On Sunday, gate is open at 7 a.m. 9 to 4 is the race. 4:30 award ceremony. Must be present to win.
Parking in paddock and facilities. All the parking is first come, first serve, unless you received something that says reserved parking is specifically mentioned by Lemons or offered by the track. The paddock is large, lots and lots of space. If you have a RV and you want power, there are limited spots for that. There is a go-kart track on site. It is not awful. Check it out. There's tons of gas, fast food, parts stores, everything's really nearby, so you're not out in the middle of nowhere like you are at High Plains. So you can take advantage of those things.
Yep, you are right across the freeway from all of that stuff. So, yeah, whatever you want, it's there.
I think there's even gas on the close side of the freeway right, you're still like on the road to get to the track, like right
Yeah.
past the Corvette Museum. There is gas like right there, so
Mhm.
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
right
even
in
have
town,
to like
which is nice.
you don't have to leave
Yeah.
basically.
No, not
Very
at
close.
all. So,
Okay.
all right. So I guess I'm going to be the sucker that starts this. Now, I also have this video, which will be linked in our show notes. That's not supposed. Well, the heck with it. We'll see what happens here. So this is actually as you are exiting the pits and going onto the track. So we're going to do the virtual track walk turn by turn. And if you guys want to, so as you're coming through right here, it will, the hot pit out, and they do have the blend line that goes kind of down till it goes to the first corner, and that dumps you right into corner 2, which if I'm faster with my mouse, I can make this work. So this is, you can see here, pit out going into turning 2. Now it's initially kind of a sweeper as you're coming out of the chicane, but the brake markers are actually on the right, and you do not want to turn before the curbing on the left. And as you are making that initial turn, you're looking for the entrance curbing for 3, which is also on the left. And if you're in clear traffic, you can get on the power. You want to build up to that, and there's a flag station on the right side right before you go into 2.
It's all just one continuation of a turn, basically. Once you make that turn into 2, you just power through 3.
Yes. If you feel like you're going to go into the gators on the left side of the track, straddle them. There's a little bit of runoff over there because those several points of this track have just absolute bone-jarring, suspension-killing gators, and this is one of them. So if you have to do that. So you're exiting 2, you're setting up for 3. It's just terrible, those gators right there, but it opens up into the power straight that ultimately will go slightly left, but you're just getting onto what they call the Corvette curves as you're coming out of 3 into this, and you just get on it hard. You want to get your eyes out as far as possible. You'll be in your top gear by the end of this if you're doing it, and you're just going to touch the curbing on the left and then aim for that number 1 brake marker as you are going through 4 into 5. And this is 5 is a high speed turn, but don't go sending it in there the first time because there's some nuance to it. You want to ease into it, build the speed. And the flag station there's a flag station on the left as you exit 3 and another one on the right about halfway down as you're coming through 4. So keep an eye on those. And they don't always man all of their flag stations, but you're going to want to know which ones are manned on this one. And as you're coming into that, it is a 90-degree turn to the right, and there is a good bit of runoff on there, but it's a high speed to the right. And you're going to line up as much as possible on that. I wrote right side, and I mean left side curbing on this one. So it's the flag station's also on the left, right as you rotate into that one. So get a glance at that when you're pointed at it before you're going through there. And the outside of that curb is long, and we can get this going as well as we're going through this. So wide 90 to the right. This is me completely screwing up those gators that you shouldn't be going over, and you can just see how it's jarring the camera. And then if you're watching this on the YouTube, and this is me starting to ease into the Corvette corners into 4 before we start talking too much about everything on there. And you can see it's just winding through the gears. There's the flag station kind of right there ahead of you, and then you're getting on the binders before you make that turn. So it's the apex on the inside of 5 is very long. So you're not just going in there touching the apex and then coming back out, but you're going to get in there and hang there for a second and exit all the way back. So it is an outside, inside, outside corner. Get through that one. And right about a car length after the outside curbing, you should initiate your turn into 6, which is a very tight, little bit more than 90-degree right-hander. There's a flag station on the inside. You're going to want to make sure you check that one out because 6 is a downhill into 7. And if there's anything going wrong in there, that's going to be your first indication.
And,
That,
and
the
8
rig
can
is
stack
lying.
up into 7 and 6 too, because 8's that hard left into the S's, and that's where a lot of weird things happen. And that's 7-8 area, and it backs up into 6.
Absolutely everything he just said. And once you get around that corner, you're going to pick up a lot of speed really, really quick. Now, on the right side of 6, almost about halfway through, there is a blue line. Someone spray painted a blue line, and there's a couple of corners that have those. Sometimes they get worn out. Sometimes they put them back, but there's around there if you can find that. It gets crowded going into 6 because a lot of people underestimate it, or they're running up on much slower traffic after very high speed through 4 and 5. So be prepared to be way offline. Now, as the car comes through 6, you're going to let it go all the way back to the outside. So you come through it and then just settle it up, aim for the end of that curbing, and then stay out there a little bit, unlike what I just did, before you initiate your turn into 7, which is a slightly less than 90-degree turn as you're coming through there. But it also has that blue line right there on the inside of it here. And you're exiting this and you're going back uphill. Now, Chris talked about there's a lot of weird stuff that can happen in 8. And there is a flag station almost square in front of you in 8 as you are exiting 7. And there's various opinions on this one. It's a left and it goes uphill. And if you've got a car with a lot of grip, there's a lot of grip on the inside and you can sneak in on cars, but you want to make sure that they see you because they'll be trying to come through there. And the actual kind of agreed upon proper entrance is middle of the track, then initiate your turn. And as you are making that left, and there is a blue line on that inside curbing as well. And nobody's correcting me here. I feel bad. All right. But here,
That's
I
the
was
best
in
I can
Miata,
remember. I don't remember the blue lines. It's been a long time since I've been here.
And then that leads you into 9, which is more or less, I hate the phrase, but it is kind of a throwaway corner because really you're just setting up to go into the hairpin. And but
It's
you
just
can do
like
it
some
well.
messes. It's a little slalomy kind of thing
Yes.
at 8. Yep.
Yes. And so it's a power suite. So you're keeping your foot on there. There is a dip, so the car might wiggle a little bit, but your eyes are already looking straight ahead into the hairpin. And this is where it can be a lot of fun, or it can be an absolute mess. So that's turn 10. It's a hairpin to the left. You want to get really, really wide, straight line braking. And I aim for the second white block, or like the actual third block on the outside curbing. You can also go over that. There's some runoff, but like every other chunk of curbing, straddle it because it's awful. Folks will go too wide into this, as I discovered 30 minutes before the checkered flag last year, and someone turned right into me. So just be patient as you're going into it. And there's a flag station as you are exiting out of this that is actually at the entry to turn 12, and it's warning of anything over the hill. So let's see how bad 6 years ago I screwed up the entry into this corner. Okay,
You
no,
just got to swing way wide coming into this, and your apex is super late around it. So you can brake a lot later than you think because you're going to trail your brakes into that corner. Because getting out of it, don't really worry about it. Like, just slow down more than you think to be able to make it because it's super tight. And I think it's off camber too, if I recall correctly.
Yes, a little bit. And you can come out wide, but it's about keeping your momentum so you don't have to like beat the crap out of your engine as you're coming through that. So you're rolling into that smooth application, because if you jump on the gas coming out of 10 into 11, you're going to have to jump back on the brakes. And so kind of just carry some momentum into 12, which is that over the hill to the right. They call it deception. You will see a lot of people check up here because they can't see the track, and that always freaks people out. When they don't see the track, they want to just start grabbing on their brakes. So it's just a right hand over a slight yump, and you're still going to lose a little bit of traction. And the apex is about the third or fourth block on the gators. Experiment a little bit, feel for that one. And I believe they also still have a blue line in that one as well. So you can see right here coming over the hill and drifts over. those are some more of those awful gators, but you can straddle them if you have to. But at that point, you're just driving extra distance that you shouldn't have to drive. So just keep it on the track. And that brings you into turn 13, which is a slight downhill, high speed. This is a really good place to pass, especially if you did 11 and 12 right and someone else overslowed for it. So you can sit on there. The outside is rough gators. Again, you're going to straddle it, but you just want to kind of kiss the center of those left side gators. And from there, you should be able to see all the way through turn 14 and turn 15, which, gives you a good idea of what the next couple minutes of, or at least the next few seconds of your race is going to look like. So we go back to the video on this one, and coming through there, you can see the visibility all the way up to the top of the hill. Flag station on the right, and then a flag station on the left, both of which I'm waving at in the video because, I wanted to make sure everybody behind me. And then you just dip down into a slight, which sets you up for an entry into 15, which is one of those cool named corners, Faux Rouge, or something of that nature on that one.
Faux Rouge.
Faux Rouge.
They're trying to be all French and stuff.
Like
Eau Rouge, but Faux Rouge.
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah, and it's a slight uphill before you drop into 16. Flag station at the left, the top of the hill as you enter. As you're starting to do that right before the left, the track squeezes in. I think they wanted everyone to go to the right and then left, but no one does. Everyone just kind of stays to the left. So if you're 3 wide, make some space or get on the brakes or something of that nature. But you want to kiss both of those curbings. So turn 16 is a drop into, part of what is the sinkhole as it is known, but it's a long, winding all the way down, all the way back up, fairly steady state turn. But you're going to kind of use
keep
all of
going.
it.
You just keep going and just keep going and just keep going. Yeah.
It does. And so just get the suspension loaded, hold your position. Don't follow the road, but follow the racing line. And it's going to keep going on that one. You're going to have all kinds of grip because you're under compression as you were leading into 17. And there is a flag station right at that hill. So, and as you're entering to 16, there's a white line. So you're looking for this white line entry, not necessarily the gators. And you'll stay in that one and then aim for the outside curbing as you were coming into 17. There's a number 3 marker on the left side into turn 17. And that's kind of where you're shooting for your exit as you're setting up to coming into 17. And turn 17 is known as Rock House because off the track to the left in the woods is a house
Made of rocks.
I don't know if it's made of rocks. I know it's like
It was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it totally was.
That's right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Don't
It's
hit
like,
it.
hey, there's a house right there. I wonder what they're doing with that. Huh. Oh, well.
And the flag station is at the top of that hill. You want to stay left until you are past that number 1 brake marker before you initiate that turn. And then you've got a short straightaway, which will bring you into turn 18. Now, turn 18 is tight and it pinches a little bit as you're getting ready to drop into the sinkhole. So you want to enter this first with there's 2 sets of inside curbing. You want to set up on that first inside curbing and look for as you are letting the car drift back out, look for the pit inside, which you won't be using that pit inside. It is attached to a light pole, which is a hard left right there. And they'll have that coned off because that's not where the pits are for this race. But it's a good visual reference, and that brings you all the way to the outside, which allows you to properly drop into the sinkhole. You can go too wide into this, but if you are on the inside of 18 all the way around, your drop is a lot more pronounced and you're going to lose grip. And meanwhile, that outside car is going to have it. So if you're overtaking someone that way, be aware of that one as well. So that drops you down into the sinkhole. And if we go back to the video, and this is me going slow all the way through this. So we'll fast forward because that was like a yellow flag, and now I've picked back
Chrissy
up.
has a top tip about the sinkhole too.
Ooh,
to share.
Chrissy, please.
Don't take your shitty small scooter and
Razor
just
scooter,
try
yeah.
to raise your scooter and try to go full force down the sinkhole. Because you might have a death wobble, and then you might be convinced that you're actually going to die. Because I swore and probably screamed when I was doing it that I
You
was
did.
going to die. Yes, I had a death
I'm gonna
wobble.
die.
It was a little more extreme than that
You
because
did one of those, jump and run while you're already moving really fast, and you see if you can.
oh
slow
yeah, you
down.
have to like I jump off and keep running.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Yes.
at the end. That's probably what happened. I was like, gonna
Legs
save
don't
it.
fail me now.
Not gonna save it because I would have gotten it on like my face into the yeah, that was scary. It's really far down.
So
The first
yeah, so
time you
that
go
should
in
give
it,
you an idea of how much of a drop it
it's
is. Yeah, it
really
could kill
far
you on a
down.
scooter. So there's the light pole. Now I'm hugging to the inside, which is wrong, but you can see the extreme drop right there, and even right then, the rear end tries to step out on me as I'm coming through that one. So you come into the sinkhole, and then once you're at the bottom of the sinkhole, you have to change directions for the next series of corners, which is 19 through 23, so 19 is that drop into it, and in the notes, because I feel like this is an applicable use of this word, it's slippy. It's a slippy continuation of that right before you kick it back to the left, and you just want to kiss that right side entry curbing and then go over there. Turn 20, it's a left uphill, and there's tons of grip on the inside. So it's great if you've got a light car and you can hold it and make a pass. But again, make sure they see you because they're going to be slightly overwhelmed having just swapped direction, dealing with the balance transfers on their car. There's 98 cars on this track, so it's crowded, and they might try to turn into you. So make sure you know that one. But if you've got it all to yourself, let the car come to the outside just past. There's a tree in between the two guardrails, and you want to land it just outside or just where that tree is on the track before you keep going on there to the left. And it is also marked with a blue line on that late apexes. And that's turn 20 right here coming out of the sinkhole. Now, 21, 22, and 23. These are literally just S's right here that dump you onto the main straightaway. Every one of them is a late apex. And I think they also have marked with a blue line, and you can screw up 21, but you better have it right by 22 or 23 because, there's 21, here's 22, and you're getting those curbings, and 23 is what dumps you onto that straightaway, and you want to be carrying as much momentum as possible. That is also where pit exit or to leave the track and get into the hot pits. That is before you get into 23, where you're going to do that one for the Lemons race. And this is a 2,800 foot straightaway. Sorry, Chris, what you got?
It's easy to get behind in those corners and end up completely screwing up your straight entry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Excellent call. And if you're in a momentum car, you don't want to do that. So 2,800 foot straightaway, good time to do all your gauge checks, give somebody in a faster car a point by, and then as you get under the start finish tower, you can adjust from there, but a good place to start doing your braking. And this is going to bring you into turn 1A and 1B, aka the French word that I always mispronounce, Chris. There's also a straightaway.
That doesn't narrow it down. That's all.
It's also a straightaway at Le Mans. The
Mulsanne?
Yes. So they call this one the Mulsanne kink, or the chicane on this one. So as you're going through the start finish, you're looking for the signboards on the right. They start at about 5. You will eat some breaks just in the course of driving this throughout the day as you're going through this one. But it is a usually you get it hauled down, drop it a gear, and then you can fling it into one. If your car
it's a great place to lose a wheel, I will say. If you
really
lose when you turn into the start of the chicane to the right.
Wheel.
Yep. And then when you turn back to the left and unload the left side, that's the best spot for the left rear wheel of your E36 to fall off, because first off, you can easily coast to the right to be right in front of a flag station. That's number one. And point two is then you've got a great view of your wheel rolling so far down the straight and down past the left or two and down the entire runoff road that goes way further than you'd ever think it goes as you watch your wheel keep going.
That
Just
wheel got
keeps
another
going.
half a lap. It was
At least it was another corner than Chris got. So there's that.
Yeah, when we went to get it, when I was riding in the car on the flatbed, we went to get the wheel. I'm like, wow, I didn't realize this runoff room went so far. It kept going all the way down.
And thankfully, it wasn't in the next 3 corners because that would have been really
when
bad.
We'd be going 110 turning to the right. Don't want the left rear wheel to fall off then. That would have been sad. Now it's a funny story. It was almost tragic.
Didn't that one make the highlights reel also for the
Oh, yeah.
wrap up?
Oh, I'm
It was at the
sure it
very
did.
end.
All right, I'll have to dig up the that wrap up video and put that you can watch that part too. So if you've got a car that likes curbing, grab that curbing because you can straighten out this corner and then cut it back to the left. If your car does not like curbing or it's very low, don't touch it. And then this sets you back up, and now you're coming back into 2, but now you're carrying some speed. Don't turn early. Make sure you're already past that curbing, and then wash, rinse, repeat. What you got, Tim?
Talk me through track or exiting the track into the hot pits. It looks a little busy in that spot.
It is. And I'm glad you said something. So if as you were coming out of the sinkhole in the S's, 21 and 22, 21, maybe they're not paying attention. 22, you definitely want to be doing the old school, fist out the window as you're coming there, and stay on the left driver's side of the track, and pit exit is going to be right in front of you. Instead of turning onto the straightaway, you're going to go straight into the pit exit. You will be carrying a little bit of speed, but there is plenty of time for you to get it slowed down, and then before you enter the hot pits as you're driving all the way down, and it'll be parallel on the other side of the wall from the actual hot track, and that'll get you to the hot pits. Before you get to the hot pits will be a turnoff right before the garages that will get you into the paddock, 10-mile-an-hour speed limit on that one, or you go straight into the hot pits, which are usually in front of the second row of garages right by penalty, and that is where the hot pit entry will be, and it'll be clearly marked, and they'll go over it in the driver's meeting.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. Don't just anticipate going out there and getting it down. It's going to take a little while.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's if you're one of those folks that like more than 12 turns, you start losing where you are. You might want to do some study beforehand.
I think you want to do some study beforehand anyway. At least get a track map and
you do.
Yeah, go find some video.
Go find some video. We'll have the video linked of this one, and then there's always the great Chrissy trick of draw the track over and over and over again until you feel it. And that's a great way to learn things.
It's a lot.
So,
Awesome. I mean, it's great though. It's just it's one of those tracks that you probably will not master over a weekend. There are plenty of times where you will. It's good to practice a new corner and say, okay, well, I'm going to try to do this corner or this set of corners a little bit differently, and try not to be scared of some of the higher acceleration points, and there's a lot to learn.
Does anyone know if this is on iRacing or any of the sim stuff if you wanted to do it?
I do not believe that they have got this one on.
I think so.
Yeah. It might be on Assetto Corsa, but I don't think it's on iRacing, no. And as you were starting to get more and more comfortable with it, that's when you start noticing just the nuances of, it looks like a flat corner, but it turns out it's off camber or
Correct.
Something of that nature. So
a lot of it is flattish, so that's why it's not as easy. Sometimes you have tracks that are fully flat, and then they have just like one or two little corners that kind of as a reference point. But this, especially watching you are driving in this car, you really can't tell a whole lot of the elevation changes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing.
How long is the track?
It is 3.17 miles with 23 turns.
I'm glad they're using the full track with the sinkhole this time. They didn't always do that. So that's
Agreed. Yep.
Yeah, I think a couple of different series drove like the shortened version where you just turn and you end up halfway on the main straight, and it's like ordering a steak and then realizing you're getting country fried steak rather than an actual ribeye or something, because it's a great track. It's a fun track. Yeah, it's good staff. Do the track walk when you're allowed to, and that does give you a sense of the elevation changes and the nuances to it. Yeah.
to get there early, or you're bored on Friday. There's a museum right nearby, hence the track name. Go
There
see the
is,
sinkhole.
yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
They have here. They sell jorts and New Balances and gold chains at the gift shop. So that
Which
helps.
always gets everyone, that gets you a good bit of favor with the judges when you show up in the Corvette gear. It's always, it's still one of those funny things. I backed this video up just because we had it playing in the background, but to go back to Tim's question about, so here is the chicanes right here. You're coming out of the chicanes. This is 22, and pit exit is literally right in the front of you here, and the track is to the right. If you wanted to keep going that way, and that'll get you around the track.
Cool.
Looks fun. I'm
Okay.
looking forward to it.
It is.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. All right, we did a lot of track talk to this time.
This was
Yeah.
a lot of track talk. Yeah.
A lot of track talk, which is great.
All right.
Sometimes we don't even talk about racing.
All racing. So
Well, sometimes
What-
we don't.
no, I know this is great. So what? That being said, now we can move along. What do we have for? Is this just a tip?
Just
Is-
a tip?
I threw that in there. I don't know if anyone else has something better, but
No.
it is now fall of 2024, and a great many of us have SA 2015 helmets. Do you know when your helmet expires? You might want to check. This is a good time of the year to know how much longer you've got on that helmet, because we're probably not going to see the 2025s for at least another month, if not 2 months. And
You're
you
not
don't
going to see
want
them for a lot longer than that.
Oh,
The 25 version is supposed to be the standard. It should be released sometime in the fall of 25. So usually the sanctioning bodies will give you some time after that. So you probably don't have to worry about this until 26. They give you some time once they come out. So that's not just a mad rush.
I remember the 2020s. All the organizations had to go like 3 months afterwards because the supply chain issues and all the other nonsense on that one there. But I'm looking. Mine is expiring. So my next helmet purchase. So start doing some research on that one right now, and actually check all your gear. But.
Per the Snell Foundation, the transition schedule is that they're not even shipping the stocks of certification labels to manufacturers until April of 25. And in October of 25, the SA 2025 rule will take effect. And they won't even begin to sell or advertise or display any of the 25 helmets until October 1 of.
Oh, I think the FCC just cut him off for
such
illegal
a
information.
bombshell that it killed his internet.
Wow. Yeah.
You can't talk about that. Delete.
Dude, why are you taunting the Illuminati, Chris? Man, they cut your
And on
internet
that
out.
bombshell.
Watching you. Well, you know what? It's not a bad idea, as Mental was saying, to check all your race gear, because before we know it, it will be time to be shopping for Christmas gifts. So holiday gifts. We will be doing our holiday gift giving guide sometime soon. Not soon, but like it's coming. So I think if now you're like, hey, I probably need some new shoes or some new gloves, it's going to be a great time to tell somebody about that. So
Does your race suit have that hole in the butt you've been trying to hide from the tech inspectors for the last 6 months? Right? Now's the time.
Ask somebody how they know. It's not us. But one of our teammates did that for a long time, and then he put duct tape on it. Like, if your butt's on fire, duct tape is going to make it worse. So
Yes.
there's that. That's all right. He never caught on fire, so it's okay. Now's a good time.
I see what you did there.
See what I did there? What are we talking about next show?
Butt stuff. We're definitely talking about butt stuff next show. Tim is going to have great stories of fun at the butt that he's going to tell us all about. We can't wait. He's got costumes for butt stuff. He's got prizes. He's got all kinds of things ready
And
to go.
I will be judging this butt stuff.
Great.
Oh, yeah? That's great.
Yep.
Wonderful.
It's going to be me and
Difficult
Chris.
when you get judged
Me and Chris
about your butt
Overzut.
stuff.
Exactly. Yes. So
Yeah. Well, a lot of people will judge you for butt stuff. You just have to ignore them.
yeah.
No kink
all right.
shame.
Yeah. No kink shame, but I expect quality butt stuff. I mean, not second rate, just reactionary butt stuff. Planned
No way.
butt stuff.
Yeah. No
Yep.
surprise butt stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely
Because
not.
it's dry at the butt,
And it's button willow. It's very
Yeah,
dry.
exactly.
It's all that terrible dust.
It's dirty at the butt.
It sure is.
Oh,
Hardy har.
all
We are
right.
so
Anyway.
old.
Yeah, exactly. Send us your butt puns. We'll use those next week. So
Goodness
we'll
gracious.
talk about all
Okay.
that kind of stuff. This is one more time around the horn. Anything else before we hit the clicky goodbye video?
Yeah. I think
Nope.
text your butt puns to Mental at 484-243-0455.
There you go. All right. Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.
See you next week.
Thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you will join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. And go to iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. Even if you hated us, give us 5 stars and tell us why. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop us a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. You can still text pictures of your junk to me at 484-243-0455. Find us on Instagram at everyone.racers, YouTube and Facebook under Everyone Racers, and even Reddit at /E1R. Thanks again. Until next week, keep the shiny side up. Unless, like us, there is no shiny side, then just keep those wheels down.